I wonder why, like, how many times have you went to, like, a really high-end steakhouse, and you get the porterhouse for 2,
Mhm.
and it's like a $70, piece of meat, 30 ounces. There's no way you can eyeball the thing.
Right.
And I like rare meat rare.
Me
I
too.
don't that's how I like my steak.
Me too.
And so I went to this new place. I get it, and I'm looking at the outside of this porterhouse, and when it's been overcooked, it kinda has that gray tinge to it, and I'm like, "Fuck," I'm like, and the lady, she goes, "Would you like to cut into that and check it?" I'm like, "No, I don't even need to, it's overdone." And she just looks at me, I said, "All right, for here." I just cut it in half, I looked at it, I said, "That's medium
Mhm.
if I'm being kind."
Right.
And I explained to her about the meter. I said, like, I don't understand if you've got these, like, you could have 3 of these, each cook could have one, you guys wouldn't mess up one steak, like, why don't w w it's you guys you can't eyeball something this thick.
Especially at the high-end houses, they should have that down to a science. That's
You
their
would think.
freaking business. That's their bread
Y
and butter
you would
or their
think.
steak. I had an amazing did you ever go to Bull& and Bear in Orlando? It's
No,
in the Waldorf.
I don't go to I'm not to be a dick or anything, but I can't go to a NASCAR race. I can't go
It's a restaurant, Kev.
to a c yeah, but you're on the property.
Mm, it's in the Waldorf. You're, like, off the property there. Anyway, there it is. So,
Yeah, so what's the, markup on that?
well,
What's the Disney markup
the
on that steak?
the bill is from me. We had the kids with us, me and my brother-in-law and his wife, my wife, and the kids. It was $1,200, but
How many bottles of wine?
none, none. I had a
$1,200.
They had on the special menu, they had a, you see the tomahawk for 2 there, the 180?
Yeah.
They had a Wagyu tomahawk for 2 for 225. I nailed that bitch. Ridiculous.
See, so I'm having that, and then I'm gonna have a couple bottles of Camus, which is gonna be 3 and a quarter a bottle. So it's just like, you know,
It's once
I
in a
could
while. It's
yeah,
a
I
once
could
in a
buy
while.
I could buy a K car with 40,000 miles cheaper than I can get out of that fucking restaurant.
Yeah, no, I know. I have my old fashioned. My wife drinks wine. I drink a scotch or an old fashioned. Chris KS. I don't know if that means Chris from Kansas or just Chris KS. He says, "Hey, Big Kev, love the podcast. The Great Muta, one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, is soon to have his final match ever. I can't recall if you ever worked with him, so if you could please talk about that and also give your general opinion of him and his career."
Well, Muda was part of the NWO, so I think that maybe we've had some time. Yeah, I worked with Muda my in and out my whole career. The only time I ever worked for All Japan was in the ring with Muda.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
he was my tag team partner.
Were you the Gettysville Express?
We were the Gettysville Express, which a lot of people don't know it, but we were the Gettysville Express Sun. So,
Express Sun.
Express Sun.
There's a T-shirt idea. If we can get a little animated Kev and Muda.